What's going on, people in YouTube land? KimchiChris here, and welcome to today's brand new video where we're talking about the 30th anniversary of the Ace Frehley solo record, Trouble Walkin. That's right, Trouble Walkin was released in 1989, and as a result, it's turning 30 years today as of the recording of this video. So if you're watching this video on the day of its release or near the day of its release, let's have a birthday party for what I consider possibly the best Ace solo record, outside of the 78 one, but I consider that more Kiss canon since they all put out solo records. This one is a great record though, and I'm not going to spend time reviewing it. As I do with most of these anniversary type videos, I'm going to more talk about my experience with this record because this one holds a very special place in my blackened heart. That's right, this is a very special record to me, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. But let's do a little quick review. Let's talk about my opinion on the songs. Even though I just said I wasn't going to, I'm going to tell you guys what I think of this record, and I just kind of gave it away saying I think it's one of the best, if not the best, but let's really delve into that just a little bit more. So I don't think there's a bad song on this record. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't think there's a bad song on this record. It opens up with Shot Full of Rock, which is just awesome. You got Do Ya, you got the title track, you got Remember Me, you got Fractured 3, one of the best Fractured instrumentals of the whole series. And it's just a great record. It's straightforward, it's rocking, it's no frills. It's such an improvement over Second Sighting. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people like that record. I like Todd, I like 80s music, but when you combine all that, you get a record that is just, it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't sound like an Ace record. I think an Ace record should be down, dirty, and rock and roll, and that's what this record is. It's down, it's dirty, it's rock and roll. It's all of those things and more. It's what his solo records always should have sounded like. The, debut record, the Comet one, is good. I think it's good. And then Second Sighting kind of goes downhill, but this one really was a great rock and roll record. And I feel that if I was a Kiss fan in 1989 and I had had this as well as Hide in the Shade, I know which one would have been my favorite because it's all these years later and I know which one is my favorite. So I feel if I was a kid in 1989, I would have been excited that I got at least one good Kiss record that year, even if it didn't come out from Kiss. It came out from the guy that used to be in Kiss, and even features a song that was on the Kiss record. And maybe the Kiss version is better, maybe, but the Ace version of Hide Your Heart is really cool, and it's a really unique thing to have out there. I remember when I was younger and got these records, I was confused. I got the Ace one first, but I was confused, but we'll go into that in a second. That being said, this is a great record. I really encourage anyone out there to check it out that's never checked it out. I really wish they'd re-release like a special edition colored vinyl or picture disc or a 2 CD with a live CD or demos or something. This thing needs some more love, and that's what we're doing right here. We're talking about Trouble Walkin'. We're giving it some love, and that's my little quick observation on the songs and the quality of this record. It's arguably perfect. It's arguably perfect, but I have a history with this record as well. And as I said, this holds a very, very special place in my heart. And the reason for that is this is the first solo Kiss record I ever owned. That's right, I really started out in a high mark. I didn't realize that down the road, Speedball Jam and One for All were waiting right around the corner. But at the time, I got Trouble Walkin', and it was amazing. I got it on cassette, and it was a really cool record to start my solo Kiss journey on. So rewinding for just a second back to Hide Your Heart, this was the first version I heard of this song. I didn't know it was a Kiss song. My parents had never told me about it. The public didn't tell me about it. I was only getting the makeup years of Kiss on cassette tapes at the time. When I was a little guy, I was about that big. So I never heard it. So I didn't even know that there was a weird connection to that. It was funny because years later, when I got Hide Your Heart, funny enough on CD, I evolved to the CD phase. I remember thinking, whoa, this is an Ace song, isn't it? It was an Ace song. I was very confused. And of course, I researched who wrote what and who did what, and years down the line, it made a little bit more sense, even though it's still a weird anomaly, of course, in the history of Kiss. But it was cool that this is the first one I got, because this one, to me, that's always the version of Hide Your Heart, is the Ace version, similar to Do Ya. I'd never heard the original, and to this day, it's an Ace song to me. It doesn't matter who it's from originally or all the other bands that have covered it. It's an Ace song to me. But as a kid getting this cassette, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It blew me away. It absolutely blew me away because, again, as we kind of talked about earlier, it's a down and dirty rock and roll record, and out of all of the Ace solo records that were available at that point, it probably sounds the most like a Kiss record. Out of all of the solo records in general from Kiss members at that point, it sounded the most like a Kiss record. And as a little kid getting this, I was young, I was little, I don't know how old, but maybe like 10, 11, something like that. Again, I was this big, and it was exactly what I wanted. If I had ended up with like a solo Peter record, I don't know what I would have thought about it. Funny enough, my first solo Peter record actually ended up being the Cat 1 record, which was a good place to start since this is only rock and roll record. But this one was a great place to start, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and it was so intriguing to me. It was intriguing to me because I remember finding it, and I don't remember my exact thoughts, but I remember finding it and just not even knowing that the Kiss guys did records that weren't when they were in Kiss. I didn't realize that you could leave Kiss and have a whole world away from Kiss, because Kiss was my world, so I figured Kiss was everyone else's world, especially the people that were in Kiss at one point. So it was mind-boggling to me, and it was a very unique experience to get it, and it really stuck with me, and that's part of the reason I think to this day that it's one of my favorite solo records from any of the band members, if not my favorite. It might be my favorite. It's always hard to pick, because again, you got Speedball Jam. If you are a crazy person, that might be something you like a little bit more, but it's such a good record, and it's, you know, it's right up there with the Kiss records. If you ask my opinion on that. I know that's ridiculous to say if you ask my opinion, because you're watching my video, these are all my opinions, but I feel that it's right up there with the Kiss records. It blows some of them away, blows away Hot in the Shade, blows away Crazy Nights. So for that time period, Ace was knocking it out, and I remember even down the road hearing rumors that Gene and Paul were a little bit concerned about all of the momentum Ace was building around, you know, that time period, and they were very concerned, and I can see why. If I heard this record and then I listened to Hot in the Shade, I would be concerned as well. I'd be very concerned where I was going in life, but you know, the numbers don't lie on concert draw and things of that nature, so I mean, Kiss were going to be the winners, but this is a solid record, and it really cemented me loving Ace even outside the band. And again, I did have to, after that, go and find all of his other solo releases, which at that time, you know, you just had the first two, the live EP, and then those greatest hits compilations that have some unique songs on them as well. And unfortunately, nothing lived up to this record, and everything was a little bit disappointing afterwards. I know a lot of people love the self-titled Comet record, and I apologize. I don't hate that record. I think it's good, but didn't live up to this one. So I was enamored with this record. I loved it. I still love it. It's a great record. 30 years, still sounds good. It's gonna sound good in 40 years. It's gonna sound good in 50 years. And I don't mean 40 years of an anniversary. I mean 40 years from now, this is still gonna be a great rock and roll record. So with all that being said, what do you guys think of Trouble Walkin'? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite song is. Let me know about your memories with this iconic Kiss solo record. And of course, smash that like button. Hit that subscription button as well if you're new around here. It really helps the channel out. Hit the alarm so you actually get the updates. Again, my name is KimchiChris, and I will see you guys on the next video.